The air intensifies as you feel the pressure of a highly dangerous presence unseen, opposing your very existence. Darkness from nowhere seems to envelop the room. The very characteristics which have been studied to tell of possession are actively evident. Now, you come face to face, staring into the eyes of a killer, a beast of darkness, the predator, the devil. Father Gary Thomas had already begun his usual prayers, asking for the deliverance of the Venezuelan lady who had been brought to him by her concerned parents, with the fear that she had been possessed by a demon. Thomas was a very knowledgeable believer thanks to his journey and experience throughout his times as an exorcist, and he knew not to jump to the conclusions of possession at mere sight, as many who had been accused of demonic possession were simple but in complex manners suffering from mental illnesses that hindered their way of associating with the physical world. In this lady's case, it was different. As he began his routine prayers, the lady started displaying unfavorable behaviors, ones he almost instantly recognized as a possession of a dark force. She started shaking adversely, almost as though she was vibrating and trembling with fear from within. Her facial features began to change, and not in any normal ways a scientist or biologist could explain. Ripple, distortion, and distractions appeared all over her face, almost as if a new being was being formed in their image. Whatever it was, it embodied that of a snake as she began to resemble the serpent. She hissed and moved her body parts in patterns similar to that of a snake that would most likely be impossible for the average man. Yet here she was. Soon enough, she was all coiled up like a snake. That's very normal. When you pray, you hurt the demon, and the demon oftentimes will manifest itself in a very serpentine way, Thomas had said in an interview years later. Thomas did not back down. With the force of the possession becoming ever present and ever strong, he too followed up the energy, rebuking the evil force that entranced this lady away. However determined he looked, the parents of the lady were in a great despair for what their eyes were witnessing. The lady of possession seemed to have only gotten more aggressive and much more stern. It was clear whatever possessed her did not have plans of leaving that body soon. The parents, though trembling, had jumped in to aid Father Thomas. They planned to hold their daughter down for the next step of the exorcism. Thomas had then gone to the next room to bring forth the Eucharist, but as expected, at the sight of the Eucharist, the lady lost all grip on living and made decisions that would shake her parents to their spines. The lady dived for the window in an attempt at suicide. The force would rather end the life it encased than be dispelled dishonorably away. However aggressive the lady might have become, her parents had succeeded at holding her down, and now Thomas was faced with the look of a demon. In his own words years later, in an interview he said, "One minute you could see the demon, the next minute it was her. She kind of came back. All he could do now was give her the Eucharist and some holy water to wash it down. She reluctantly accepted the Eucharist, and once it was all over, she was well and returned with her parents." Matt Baglio has had a lot to say about his experience with the unseen evil. These words, which he had expressed many of in his novel, The Rite, The Making of a Modern Exorcist, his journey and experience with demons, churches, and exorcism, have led to the creation of large and critically acclaimed works of fiction, which have served as a mirror for many, looking much deeper beyond what the average horror Hollywood movies show about the connections between this physical world and that of the unknown. Choosing not to believe in the devil won't protect you from him. The movie The Rite gave its viewers a more perceptive view of what happens during a real exorcism. It clears out that the participants, who are Anthony Hopkins as Father Lucas Trevant, Colin O'Donoghue as Michael Kovac, Alice Braga as Angeline, aren't blind believers and are well aware that most claims of possession were nothing but undisclosed mental illnesses. At the start, Michael Kovac and Angeline are skeptical of possessions and only embark on the journey with Father Lucas, either for work purposes or answers to old insecurity and doubts. Either way, it plays a major part as a show and tells through the eyes of several counterparts what really happens in an exorcism and why faith is not to be messed with. In contrast to the book written by Matt Baglio, which was the sole inspiration for the movie, major participants have expressed their opinions about both and how it does match the incidents that occurred during their time in Rome. 2007, a prestigious Catholic church in Rome is overrun with requests for demonic expulsions and exorcisms at about 500,000. This in turn led the Vatican to deploy an initiative that would have many clergies in the act of exorcism. Matt Baglio, who is a reporter in Rome in search of a new story, is excited by the new initiative and seeks out personnel from the church. He comes across Father Thomas, an American priest undergoing this training but going down to the movie. Matt is portrayed by Angeline, who is cited along by Michael Kovac. Their journey leads them to several exorcist sites and has them cross paths with even more demonic-possessed individuals. Father Lucas invites his companions to an exorcist of a 16-year-old girl pregnant with her father's child, which would have all their doubts completely dismantled as they witness the adverse horrors and features of a truly possessed being. Some of these are the vomiting of blood, or bloody nails, or the presence of frogs, which would symbolize the presence of a demon. Other factors could be the knowledge spoken by the victim of possession about life, or even their exorcist that no one would know. Even the ability to speak in various languages the victim did not know of. It's made clear through the movie that demons use certain situations or openings to infiltrate a body that may be present without even exhibiting signs of presence. This could be cuts or blood intake, like the daughter who got possessed through the sperm of her father doing what would be deemed immoral by raping her. Even Father Lucas in the film is shown to be possessed by a demon after he slaps a lady in the park. This has Angeline and Kovac perform an exorcism on him. Faith becomes you. Stay with it. Keep fighting the good fight. A fatherly relationship between Lucas and Kovac seems to blossom as they face the challenges of the damned together. The movie does a great job at revealing the intentions of the Catholic Church and how it plans to deal with demonic possession. Furthermore, it makes it clear that the devil only seeks to take and devour souls, even when they are of no use to them. This is seen time and time over again, as even Kovac can spot demon-possessed souls. The movie also defines a person's ability to triumph over evil as being gauged with faith and not by physical power. Though many elements from the movie have been highly dramatized, like the gain of immense strength, the darkening of area, and other common Hollywood tricks, which Matt's book does not emphasize on. Either way, the movie is a whirlpool of ideas and cinematics, which focuses more on character development and explores more deeply into the idea of a demonic possession, how to spot one, how to react, who they are, and how to get rid of them.